Hello everybody, welcome to the Super Suck Hour. My name is the Super Sucklord. We're here at the DKE TOYS compound and we're going to do what we always do, which is sit around and discuss our common interest, which is bootleg action figures, right? Some of you guys have been here before, some of you guys are here for the first time, so this is pretty much the format. We're gonna sit here on the Suckathon couch made by Sofa King Rolf, right? Let's give him a shout out for the couch! We're gonna call up our esteemed friends and colleagues to sit here in the hot seat and we're gonna discuss and review their artistic endeavors of the year, specifically for DesignerCon 2019, which we just wrapped up to great acclaim and success. Everybody won, they made a lot of money, they made a lot of new friends. So basically this is just going to be a friendly, jovial, entertaining, photogenic, artistic endeavor. You know,
not intimidating.
You're not intimidated, right?
Absolutely not.
Great, because that's not what this is about. I mean, you know, we're not just going to sit around and blow too much smoke up each other's ass, although there will be a little stroking going on. But basically, we're just gonna, you know, do a peer review of everybody's contributions and, you know, be as honest as possible without being mean, you know, but not being like a total stroke job and a fluff job either. Now, I know you have to sell this shit, so you can't say anything too critical. That's why.
And also, my 6-year-old is sitting in the front row.
Right. Well, we're expecting nothing but honesty from him. We've got Samuel Helmer in the front row.
Tomorrow, when he asks me to explain to him what a fluff job is,
Just get a duster row.
It's basically a dishonest way of making somebody feel good. But just in case, you know, you take too neutral of a position on anything, we have we have a peanut gallery, we have dollar slice bootlegs. And we have all the way from the UK, Rika, who went to art school and studied a bit about art. Clearly has a lot of important things to say, right?
Maybe.
Right, it's great to have you here. It's great to have you here. And I'd also like to give a shout out to the community. And here's the deal. We're going to talk about shit. We're going to put the artist in the hot seat. And we also have a rotating chair next to our friend Special Ed Toys. And he's also going to help us with some of our friends who speak only Espanol. And he's going to grease the wheels a little bit. And yes, I love you. And we're also going to talk about your toys and get your important opinion as well.
Sure.
Because you're an OG at this point.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Are
yeah,
you?
let's do that.
Are you?
Sure.
Are you?
Yes.
And we're going to keep an open chair in the front, so in case anybody in the audience wants to give an extended opinion about anything, and I call on you, that's the chair right there. Okay?
I think it's amazing that no matter like how drunk you are, or how stoned you are, or how late at night it is, when the camera turns on, you're just like, boom. It's like everyone else is like this, like, oh, and you're just like,
Was that
Whoa,
good?
that was
Because I'm
awesome.
completely anesthetized and I can't tell if
That's
I'm not tired.
yeah.
It was freezing outside and now it's not cold.
Well,
Not
great. Then I'm glad we have you here.
We
To
know his
contribute
nerves
to
are
this.
working
Nah.
properly.
All right, let's get on with this. Let's start the show. We got a lot of toys to review. I'm not going to give a bunch of backstory because if you're watching this online and you don't know what the fuck's going on, there's nothing I can say to you that's going to explain it. Watch some of the past episodes.
And again, I'll remind you, my 6-year-old is sitting in the front row. Anyway, let's call up our first victim
It's
here.
too late now.
Matthias from all the way from Argentina, from Calaca Toys.
Let's go. Do you need a Spanish guy?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe. Okay.
No,
Yeah, help us
you're
out.
good. You're good.
Just help us out. We're not
Yeah.
gonna like lean on that too hard. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We got and now we're also getting high quality photos of these things, right?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, send that to Doug. We got the Ghetto Militia. This is obviously a play on the famous Black Bart bootleg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so?
Is it racist?
So is this the one that when you brought this through customs that they give you a hard time about?
No, this is not custom. It's a prototype.
No. When you came through customs in the plane and the police.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when he brought all this stuff into the country, and the police looked through his bag and they looked at this Ghetto Militia figure.
That's good.
And then they got a load of this dude here, and they thought he was a terrorist.
That's a profile.
That's
And then he said
That makes it a 10.
You upset the piggies,
the
that's
officer
rad.
took the toy, went into the other room to show all his friends, hey, look at this one.
And so what happened? How did that play out?
Just a
He's here, dude.
sick moment.
Did they
Yeah.
understand it ultimately as a piece of artwork?
Yeah. Was
Because it does say, it says Ghetto Militia, and then it says police-free zone.
the small rat. The small rat busy in the head of.
What's the ACAB
That's
stand
cop.
for? What is
All cops are
Cop.
bastards.
Oh.
Oh, so they
I
saw
thought that was a
that
Genesis.
there's a head of a police officer as a pig in a puddle of piss.
And the rat say,
They should have taken you to
Fuck
a
pigs.
room.
I would have deported
Beat you.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, he
Let me
said
see this.
he said
It's
he
like,
was scared.
That's a heavy piece, man.
so this is a pig? So like, why isn't he harassing anybody like for eating a sandwich on a bark or something? Like that? I don't know, man.
"What not funny?"
No, but if he's no, he's the militia. If police-free zone means he's a vigilante.
Oh, I like this guy better now. Everything about this. is just
Yeah.
wrong. Oh, he's standing on a decapitated
Yes.
pig head.
Oh.
He's not the fucking pope.
Oh, I like him way better. Oh, that's beautiful.
Wait, let me see that.
I like that.
Do you have an opinion on this?
I'm a sucker for this kind of art. It's very retro 90s art, like
Yes.
basically like back in the days in what we call here in LA in Los Callejones. So it's like sort of like the fashion district where you go there to find like the bootleg shit. You know, it was before pre everything, you know, right? Making bootleg Bart shirts, you know.
Yeah,
This
bootleg bar.
this was that artwork. You know, I had all that fucking the t-shirts, the fucking pajamas. So this is I'm a sucker for this. So I love this. I think it's great.
Thank you.
I think it's
Okay,
great.
well now I'm gonna
Good
give
job,
you
man.
my opinion on this. It looks cool, it's great. Again, I love the Black Bart reference. I mean, I grew up in New York City. This was a thing.
Yeah.
I will say, as far as the sentiment of this toy goes, a couple of things. Like, I feel like calling something ghetto is a little problematic, maybe. It's
For
like,
you living in New York, yes, but for this
no,
fellow-
for like, what does that mean, ghetto? What do you mean by ghetto? Why are you calling it ghetto? What is that shorthand for?
What he say?
So
Why ghetto? Why is it
¿por qué
ghetto?
le pones el nombre de ghetto? ¿Por qué usaste esa palabra? Porque él cree que se siente como un poquito.
Tiene
como
más
si
que ver
pasaste un
con.
poquito.
No, tiene más que ver con para poder comunicarlo en USA. No, porque en mi país sería barrio militar.
Sí, okay.
¿Entiendes?
So basically, what he's trying to use is he was trying to use a word that we're familiar with to describe.
Right.
So like back in his country, like you know.
Y una cosa más. Elegí hacerlo negro no por el hype
Mhm.
que otras
Sí.
personas hacen Black Bart
Sí.
porque está de moda, sino porque en Latinoamérica actualmente
Tenemos mucha opción.
estamos siendo muy oprimidos por el neoliberalismo. Neoliberalismo, no sé cómo le dicen aquí.
Yeah.
Y para mí una persona blanca no representaría lo que está en contra de la represión.
Sí.
Me siento más latino y más familiarizado con
Claro, sí,
con
sí.
esa raza.
Claro que sí. So yeah, so the reason he wasn't going for the Black Bart hype. Let me do
Right.
what everyone's done before. He's doing this because literally, like even in his home country,
It's like
especially.
People's Army.
Exactly, it's the people's army. And the people aren't, you know, lighter skin, white skin. You know. No
Sure,
offense.
sure. I mean, I
You know,
get that.
he's
I
trying
guess
to
where
he's
it's
trying
coming
to
from.
show basically.
I get where that's coming
This is
from.
what it's really representing. Who it's representing.
So this is basically a fuck the police piece, right?
It is. It's a fuck the police, and it has a lot to do coming from his home country as well. It's not just sort of a.
En todos los países es fuck the police.
Yeah. There you go. All countries fuck the police.
That's great. I mean, it feels nihilistic and depressing and doesn't offer any real answers, but And it's like it's really beyond my pay grade to like weigh in on something of that, you know, like on that level. But because I don't, this isn't a problem I have to deal with.
And
But,
do your toys offer answers?
Yeah, for different questions. Yeah, not this question.
Different question.
Not this question, but I mean, hey man, this is hot. This is hot stuff. You know, this is dangerous artwork. I think. Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
You know, and it's just like
Well, my only 2
as
cents.
like a white person, I feel like I don't really feel like I can say anything about it because I don't have to deal with the issues that inform that piece.
Right.
You know, and I can play around with Black Bart and just have fun with it.
No,
And
exactly.
like I don't that's stuff that doesn't.
Maybe make a blonde Bart with hair like a. What is the name of the guy of? ¿Cuál es el nombre del tipo de Cartoon Network? El rubio. Johnny Bravo. Maybe Johnny Bravo with Ghetto Militia. No sense.
Maybe anybody else in the peanut gallery have an opinion about this? Want to say anything about what we discussed?
I think maybe like it's been commented on before. Maybe not with this character. So this is just another take on something we've already seen. But I like it because it's fun.
I mean, I would buy one for myself.
Yeah.
I think the only
Okay. That's all.
the only strategic thing that I would say is because this is a one of a kind and you plan on releasing this next year,
Yes.
I personally don't advise artists to show their work a year ahead of time before something comes out.
So doing business.
Too much preview.
You're in a room of bootleggers.
Because by the time you show up with these next year, people have already seen it, and it'll seem like it's a year old and it won't seem.
That's not true because it'll still be relevant.
It will still politically be relevant, but as far as like, I like to keep things really tight until, you know, you start
Impact.
promoting and then it's new and exciting, but, I don't know.
Is
But
everybody?
this year, with Mishka, make the release of the T-shirt with the same artwork, and the people buy a lot. Compró casi todo, casi soldado. Yo creo que les gusta lo que
Good.
representa.
I'm sure people, if they buy the T-shirt this year, they'll be happy to have the toy next year.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
All right, let's give them a hand.
All right,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Victor's Vintage from Iceland, right?
Yeah,
What's that like?
it's okay.
Is it okay? Give a round of applause. I fucking came a long way to sit on this couch and have us talk about his Wacko Jacko comeback tour. Wow. Everybody got a look at that?
Man,
Good to see you, man.
if I had to explain this one with my sex tomorrow.
Chamon.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Flavor
I didn't see
Flav.
that.
Yo, look at the little boy's
No, no,
back
no.
is turned and his arms are behind his back.
Hey, you don't really need to go into that much.
That is disturbing.
Wait, I didn't see that.
You are good.
Let me see that.
I want to see that.
You got Lego.
All right.
I want to see that.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you as soon as I analyze it. Wacko Jacko's Comeback to Life tour appears to be a resurrected Michael Jackson who died. When did Michael Jackson die?
2009, right?
What? No, really? That
Really?
10 years ago?
Yeah.
This is really tasteless. Wait, and that's and what is that? Who's this child that who's the child in the package? I don't get the joke.
The thing is, like, it's his comeback to life tour, but his like comeback to life tour is just you know, kicking the kid's ass for talking shit about him all these years after.
So he came back from the dead to kick the shit of the children that accused him of sexually assaulting him.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. Why would you do something like that?
Where was like, you know what I need to make? Like,
It's so tasteless. It's tasteless.
And if you like he has like a hat, but if you take off his hat, it has a brain inside. So, but if you look inside his brain, it says kids. And
Oh, God.
Why Why did you make
Are you
it?
making fun of the kids who got molested?
Oh no. It's like a double-sided sword, dude.
It's like,
Double-edged sword.
Is this pro Michael Jackson or is
yeah.
Because you never know. The thing about Michael Jackson, is
Good question.
like he never had a childhood, so it's like a Shimon, weird kind of guy, you know. And like in interviews, when he's like asked about all this stuff, he's like acting like a little kid. So you never know, like, was he just acting like a little kid and playing with kids, or was he actually, you know, a
He's Peter Pan.
Yeah, but why do you need? Why do you feel you need to ask that question
So,
to an
like,
action figure?
So like after, you know, yeah, why are you dressed up like a terrorist, dude?
He's Peter. No. He's Peter Pan. He's Peter Pan.
He's Peter Pan.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
understand he
Peter
never
Pan.
had a childhood.
The thing is, like after the leaving Neverland, it was like so controversial and like week after.
Quiet on the set, please. If you want to talk, go in the other room. Sorry if it's not interesting to you.
Yeah. Like the week after the leaving Neverland came, I made this toy. Like, you know, mainly, you know, stirring up things. It's fun. But the thing is, I don't know. I thought it was fun.
It's funny.
Yeah,
It is fun.
especially-
I like-
that makes super fucked up shit too.
Yeah. Like all of you guys laugh.
I
need it.
Yeah.
I think
We
we
need
all
it.
laughed. It was very successful.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
But it wasn't kind of like a ha-ha. It was kind of the like, oh.
Yeah. Like, you know, the thing is, like, if you're looking at art and it doesn't impress you and it doesn't like make you create any emotion,
Is this Skeletor's face?
no, it's Scareglow. I just sculpted the,
Oh.
I sculpted the curly curls.
Now I like it.
Thanks. The thing is, I was gonna make this thing way more explicit. there are kids here, but I'm gonna
Well,
say
that's generous of you. And some of them are your own children.
Yeah, that's my daughter right there.
I know.
Yeah, the thing is, I knew he was gonna be like naked, like a skeleton, and he was gonna have this cock rocket. That has like a spring in the crotch, and you pull it. But the thing is, like on the front, it has like a magnet, and it's gonna. The kid was gonna have the magnet on the. At the it's like so I made the prototype. The thing is, I was
Did you trademark that term?
The thing is,
Can I buy that version?
yeah.
What happens if a little kid chokes and dies on it, man? Like, what the fuck?
The thing is, I made the prototype and I shot, and actually it collected. It was perfect. I was like,
Bullseye!
I was like, yeah! And then it was like, I took like 5 minutes, I was like, no. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, it's horrible. So, I was trying to like make it, you know, above
Too
the
much
belt.
information.
Yeah, because myself, I'm such a huge Michael Jackson fan. I love Michael Jackson. So I was just,
You mean the music?
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Wait.
You know, I'm not sure, man.
No, we don't know the music.
I'm not sure. So, you know, it's a joke. It's a toy.
It's like,
You know, and we all know, you know, when you hear Michael Jackson, it's like, yeah, you're on board with it, but you're like, I don't know. So that's the toy.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, I'm glad you had the self-restraint to
I tried. I actually made the other
make the
thing.
slightly more sensible version.
Yeah.
What's the rocket firing Boba Fett version?
Yeah. All right,
You
let's
want
give
it?
Vicky a
Yeah,
hand,
I want the
everybody.
rocket fire.
It's a skeleton.
I don't think it's funny.
No.
We all laugh. I think it's really well made. You're allowed to do what you want to do. I don't think it's humorous even playing around with the idea of a child being sexually abused, even whether it happened or not. I just feel like it's a subject matter that if you're going to wade into that, I'm not judging you for doing it. I'm just saying if you're going to wade into that, you're going to invite, you know, you're opening up stuff that is incredibly potent, and I think just taking a sort of cavalier attitude towards it is not a look I would personally go
Well,
for.
this toy isn't like a about.
It could be construed as such.
Yeah, but yeah.
It could be construed that you're just making light of the
But,
implications
it's how-
behind
it's how
it.
you take- yeah.
And I just feel like personally, of all the things one can do with a toy, to pick that and to put that much thought into it with that situation described with all the special features just to sort of simulate sodomy with a
Aren't
child,
we
it just
lucky
seems
that
like
he's
it just
willing
seems
to go
crazy.
places that you're not?
But what is there a reason? That just seems like a place that maybe is not advisable to go.
Dude, I just,
In my opinion.
I gave you a little taste. I didn't like
I'm
make it.
satisfied.
Yeah, but that's
with
where
it.
that's where
You are familiar with the whole idea, though.
The whole idea of what?
What Michael Jackson did or did not.
I don't know what he did or did not do. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't have done it. I'm just saying, as a consumer, I might not be attracted to a toy that even attempts to ask any of those questions. But that's okay.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, that's fine.
I think that
Well, I
eyes-
didn't, but
You don't buy anything anyway, so.
It's
it
not
doesn't
about that.
matter.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, as a person absorbing people's work, it's not necessarily a
I
subject
think
matter.
you need to ask the
I
question.
think is
And
that
and
rich
that piece there
with meaning.
asks some valid questions.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's why.
What are those questions?
The question is like whether you've seen a Netflix documentary about someone you like, and whether you want to believe
Right.
the shit about their life or not.
Yeah.
Your piece of art continues a dialogue.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Carry on.
I just cried a little bit.
I mean, no, that's true. That's valid. I mean, that's another condition. You know, when somebody that we admire and respect has come out to have done something terrible.
Oh no.
You know, and the things we do to sort of explain it away.
I don't want to believe it.
I don't want to believe it either, but I don't.
The thing is, I had like 80. Like 80.
I went to see the fucking history tour.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I like this piece. I had like 87 hate mails. You know, from Michael Jackson fans.
You've
around
got
the world.
99 problems.
Yeah.
All right, enough of this. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
87
All right. Oh my God, why is this so awful? This is all just awful.
Scott. Mr. Barbarian Rage, let's give him a hand.
Please, just give me mindless He-Man shit or something.
There you go.
Okay, it's the Gorlock, thank God, thank God. It's the fucking Gorlock, it's an average run-of-the-mill fucking Gorlock. Oh God, thank you. Ooh, magnets?
No. It's
Ball joints out of resin?
Yeah.
And one of those weird things where the light shines through and lights up the eye?
Yeah.
It's like the Jawas, the Power of the Force Jawas?
Yeah.
A technical tour de force.
I wanted it to be like the $6 Million Man bionic guy.
That's pretty fucking great. That's great. That's cool.
I was like,
I don't care about the character at all. Who's the character? Who's the fucking Gorlock? I remember.
Yeah, you know,
Why should I like that? It looks like a weird, like bootleg, really well-made bootleg He-Man.
It's not a
toy.
bootleg, it's an original.
I mean a knockoff because it's riffing on the He-Man body a little bit with the belt and the fur diapers.
Sure.
It's beautiful. So why should I care about the character? Your fucking technical skill is unsurpassed, but fuck Gorlock. What's up with that? Who is it?
Yeah, you know,
Give me something.
Well, I'm working on a comic book, and I want to do toys that are based on the comic book.
I think you're being excessively
Yeah.
harsh.
No, these are important questions.
No, I totally
I don't
get
mean it. No, I
No.
think you're a brilliant artist.
No.
So don't take it.
that. No, because I say the same thing about other people's toys. They say this is this thing, and I go, well, why should I give a fuck about that?
I mean, you could have put a page of the comic on the back, and that might have convinced me to like buy into his story.
Yeah, but it's not. The
Does he
comic
have-
book isn't done.
I'm just
This is
saying,
a
well, why are you merchandising a comic that's not even done?
Let me speak for a second.
So his name is Barbarian Rage.
Okay, we're gonna calm him down enough to make an
If you make
intellectual
it, if
statement.
you make him angry, It gets really bad.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we're going for ratings here, so.
I wanted to see if I could do the Bionic Eye because, like, the comic book that I want to do a toy line, and there was a character that I wanted to do that. And quite honestly, I did this because I didn't have anything for Decon.
It's
and
funny that you're doing the R&D on a product of an intellectual property that doesn't even exist yet. Like you're working on the toy before the comic's even done. I guess it informs the comic, right?
Well,
It's like Transformers.
Yeah.
It's more than meets the eye.
Yeah, you made the toy first and then you need to make a story behind it to sell it.
well, I mean, the story is he's a psychic Cyclops.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did you make him that because of the joyful alliteration of that description, a psychic
No.
Cyclops? That's catchy.
Well, there's that, and it's sort of like.
Can I give it to the kid? Well, why a Cyclops? It's funny, a Cyclops that can see, because, you know, Cyclops are myopic, you know, and oftentimes people who can't see everything, like Sauron, for example, had a lot of blind spots because he only had one fucking eye.
Well, or
How does
like,
that play?
yeah, like Rel from Krull.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's sort of the same idea there.
And how much of yourself has been invested in this particular character? Is that you? No. You're not invested in it with all your aspirations and your hatreds.
You know what it was? I wanted to make a toy, and I didn't even design the toy. I just freestyled the entire sculpt.
It's beautiful.
and
It looks great. What?
And then it comes with
Why
a
is
mini
this
poster.
loose and this isn't that loose?
Well, what's up, dude?
Why is it like that?
It's a probing question. Let's get to the bottom of this.
So for those of you who didn't hear Samuel, he wants to know why this leg is really tight and this one is really loose.
Because
Just poor craftsmanship.
it's
This is what happens when you put like
You know what?
insane
Because he
levels
made
of
it by hand. Because it's a piece of
technology.
artwork. It wasn't made in a factory. He made it himself in his art studio.
I love this.
Of course.
This is the most ambitious one.
That's
the
neat.
most insane piece.
Why?
This is really cool. What's going on with this palmistry here?
Samuel.
So
Go sit down.
I wanted the packaging to come with like a mini poster. And I had, this is a New York artist, Sergio Zaniga, that did this, and then I did this. And I wanted to have something that was apropos.
What's with that hypodermic needle? Why is that in there?
I just put a bunch of shit on it.
Things that resonate to you.
Well,
Upside down cross.
no, well,
Skulls,
that,
lightning, some
no
geometry.
future and doom and failure.
Really? Those are the things that interest you?
No, that's what I was feeling when I made this fucking toy.
What's that?
What's wrong, man? Why are you so angry and depressed?
This because I have a child criticizing my toy.
From the mouth of babes.
Samuel, go sit down.
Alright.
Okay, well, that's cool. That's great. We got the backstory. I think your work is amazing. You're a good guy.
We need to clap now.
I hope great success for Gorlock. I mean, your craft
It's
is
not
amazing.
happening.
I need you to. Well, okay, that's fine. You can tell yourself that.
Alright.
See, that's the thing about Scott. It's like you don't ever have to be hard on him because he's so hard on himself.
Why? And how do the toys play in?
Oh.
What would you say you weren't making toys, right? How would you be? Does this help or hurt?
That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Quick answer, soundbites.
I would probably
Serial killer
be
for
a-
sure.
I would be a painter.
Oh God.
Even worse.
Yeah. Okay. Thank God for fucking toys. Anything else? Ironically, this is called Freaking Maker. All right. Hey, what's up? Who
Hey,
is
guys.
this? Who is this?
I'm Janky Toys.
Janky Toys. How long you been making toys for?
2013.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell him the story about
Yeah,
how you started.
You've never been here before, have you?
No, I haven't been on this. No.
Yeah. Okay. So give us your backstory a little bit.
I went to DCon in 2013, and
Why did you do that?
I was sort of interested in the scene, and I saw when you were doing the Suckathon with the game shows.
Hmm.
I got on stage and jiggled around a little.
Oh, in the Mantor contest.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Give us the 180.
and went home and decided to start making toys. Made some shitty toys.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Oh, wow.
All right, so this is your offering. Now you're using the Rancor Keeper bubble. I noticed that.
Mhm.
It's the Faker Maker. Hold on, let me absorb
Faker
this.
Maker 2000.
Oh, the 2000.
The 1000 model.
Oh wait, hang on. I'm the host and I need to read all the copy. When you want professional quality work but absolutely refuse to pay for it, I get where this is going. Faker Maker. Never deal with the hassle of creative collaboration again. I am happy to work just for the exposure. 3 times faster, 8 times cheaper. This is good, fast, and cheap, right?
Yeah, good fast.
Read the back.
All right. Oh wow, there's like a meeting, a meeting of the creative team. Producers, are you tired of shelling out full rate for creative work? Tired of having to wait a week when you want it done today? Tired of paying for years of experience when you just need someone to push buttons for you? Faker Maker 2000, achieve your creative vision without any creativity at all. Includes printing, writing, design, and editing, believing in your event, even you when your project is doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
This is funny, yeah, I get it, I love it.
All right, so this is a funny story.
It's great, this is funny. Yes,
So,
it's commentary.
so
Yeah.
we,
I like commentary.
DKE curated the Robot Remix
Little
show.
on the nose, but it's funny.
It was at the Space Gallery at Eisenberg, where somewhere that Chris worked prior. And the people at Space Gallery read this and thought that this was a criticism of them.
Oh, man. Didn't want to put it in the show.
Did not want to put it in the
Interesting.
show.
Well, what does that tell you?
That's
Right on. You nailed it.
Yeah.
That's so rad.
I appreciate that.
Was it a criticism of them?
No, it's a
No, but the
criticism
thing is
just
you're-
working as a
But the
creative
thing is, you're
person.
holding up a mirror with something like that,
Yeah.
and if somebody sees themselves in there, that's on them.
So
kind
I
of.
had to assure them that, of course.
Because you're the great assurer.
It had nothing to do with them. And this is, whatever.
Yeah, why do so many people in the scene get so tight? And why are you the one that always have to go in and clean it up?
We all need a hero.
I wouldn't call that a heroic activity. He's like the wolf. Call Dove. Somebody got offended. Call Dove. Fix it, because it's hurting business.
Because when there's two people who are in an argument, the one with the level head
Always loses.
controls the argument.
Oh.
Because if you're screaming and I'm just whispering, you look like an idiot because you're just screaming.
According to who? Who's watching?
Me being calm brings you down.
No, it doesn't. It makes me more mad. It makes me want to make you mad.
Right. And then
And I don't care what you're saying, even it's logical.
if I don't let you, then you lose.
Well,
So
this is a zero-sum game, and there's either winners or losers.
You told me that 10 times.
yeah, see, my kid
Life
knows all
lesson.
my stories.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Thanks, man.
It's pretty funny. I mean, it's making a singular statement, and you're really hitting people over the head with it.
Yeah, it's the most personal piece I've ever done because that's where I am in my life right
Okay,
now. So that's
right.
why it's real blunt. 'Cause it's like that's
No,
Yeah, I
me.
get it. I get it.
Paper,
It is a bit blunt, but I
Yeah.
appreciate that part of it.
The execution of the actual toy
Yeah, it
is
looks
pretty
great. I mean, yeah, everything we've looked at today is like well made, looks like a real toy. If that's the objective, it looks like a real toy that could be in a store, albeit maybe a shitty store, but whatever, it looks fine. It looks like a real product. I mean, that's the thing. This is a head game, isn't it? This
Yep.
is a fake out
Yep.
situation.
This really robbed the robot.
It is really Rob the Robot.
What?
Repainted, modified.
Okay, so you just took some other robot and just put it on there.
I didn't make that. I modified it. I changed his pose.
To make it more servile?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you
But
work.
then it's all resin casted. I didn't, I made the molds.
Good for you. I hope you work out your problems with your freelance work.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
You know what I
Let's
think?
make more toys to bitch about.
If you make like 10,000 of these, then you won't ever have to deal with this problem.
That's true. That
Yeah.
is true.
Anybody else got an opinion about the janky toy?
I think it's well, now you've explained it, it's kind of a sad self-portrait.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, instead of making some weird movie reference, that's where I'm at in my life right now. It's the first time I've done that with a toy.
Yeah, but the thing is, it works because a lot of people have been.
Yes, and
I
this
mean,
is not
if
a
you make this
unique
next year,
position.
I'm going to be mad at you because I want to see some personal growth.
Right. Well, it'll be the
It doesn't have to
3,000.
be less cynical, but I'm just saying, it's
Right.
like if you're still complaining about this next year, then
Yeah.
I've done something wrong with the year.
yeah, exactly.
We've
So-
seen your self-portrait. We need to see your.
I mean,
open arms.
Alright, I
I
like
think what's cool about this whole stupid toy thing is that a person can really work out their issues if they can't afford a therapist.
Yeah. Resin's way cheaper than
That's
therapy
therapy.
is.
It is. And you can get a lot of people to corroborate your situation. And you can have your friends can be like, oh, that's so sad, I feel
Yeah.
bad for you. Haha, it's funny. And you can have your other friends that can be like, get your shit together, motherfucker.
I like all these
I want to
friends.
see that.
Yeah.
Janky set up all the cameras, by the way. That's why this
Yeah.
video
Yeah.
looks so great.
Yeah.
And why the sound sounds
I don't know
amazing.
about so great.
And the lighting is perfect.
That one's crooked, but that's.
Alright, give me that, give me that.
Wait, let me see that.
I'm in charge. You see it when I'm done. I know how to do this. Sit down. Alright, this is great. Okay, alright, yeah,
Can you
alright.
introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Mike, Maggitarius, but this piece is Resin Underworld. It's kind of a joint piece. There's actually 3 parts to it, and because the couch is this size,
And all y'all are big.
yeah, we kind of have to split it up and do like one at a time.
That's fine, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the Finbot.
And you made it?
Yep. So my company is Maggitarius, and Jason's out there somewhere. His is Figure Fetish, and it's 2 different companies that we share tables together a lot of times. Yeah, he cast some of the figures. I painted some of them.
I think it's great. I mean, it's a mashup of fucking Star Wars and vintage Bionic Man shit, right?
Right. Right.
Normally I would think that was lazy and stupid, but
It's so
I
good.
like it for some reason because aesthetically it works. You know, like I love the Bionic Man shit. I love that you use the adventure people to make it because I'm a sucker for that. Like this
Yeah.
is stupid because usually I would hope things are higher standards, but you just push the certain sensual buttons that I like.
I grew up with the adventure people, and
Yeah,
that was
me
my
too.
jam.
Well, that's a problem for me because it's like sometimes I get so caught up in like things being conceptually relevant that like sometimes I just miss out on like the sensual side of it, you know, or just like stroking certain.
Yeah. Sometimes
Pleasure
you gotta take it
points.
there.
Yeah, you're right, and like you made it artsy with the background. It's like it's not presented as just like a straight up joke product. It's like
Right.
it's a color palette and it's like a nice presentation. It's a nice
And like a tribute
wet figure.
piece.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know?
tribute piece and it's just like whatever. It's just like having my prostate stimulated.
Wait.
Okay. And my wife did the paintings for it.
It's beautiful. Where is she?
This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's like what do you think? What do you think?
Can you actually put the face on? Wait, can you put that face and the hand on the?
You can't. She just kind of holds it.
You leave it in the pack.
Yeah. So intense.
Where's Figure Fetish?
I didn't find out till years later that
You
that was
stay on the
Andre the
couch.
Giant.
Oh,
It was?
Yeah.
Okay, you sit on his lap.
Okay. I'll sit on his lap.
Obviously, you guys love each other so much that you're sitting in some basement and wherever the hell you guys are from making toys together.
Right.
2 grown men.
Right.
What the hell is
our wives knew.
They do know.
Things we do in our off hours.
And this is the true part. Wait. I love the accessory pack, and it's a Repto saw,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
and
Awesome.
oh, and that's a sugar piece, a sugar piece.
I love the tobacco.
Yes. Magnetic.
Okay.
You got to buy
As I was about to diss you, I was like, where's the control panel? It's like you got lazy, and then the whole thing opens up, and there's, you seen this, Scott Cherry?
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. This is what they
That's
call.
awesome.
This is what they call in the straight toy industry play value,
Yeah.
which most 99% of this
So
shit lacks.
you remember the Bionic Man? He had the arm attachments with like the skin that
Yes,
peels
of
off.
course, I remember that. But you could actually do shit with those toys because they're real toys.
Yeah.
Most of these things are just like provide art pieces, but the fact that you can
Yeah, that
actually
is-
literally
yeah,
play
yeah.
with this means you guys can now feel good about that and go play. The playroom's in there. Why don't you guys take your little toys together and go in there? Your wives can stay here and play with your little toys together. Okay? Why don't you do that? Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
All right. Hey, get me a beer. Someone get me a beer. One of those
I'll
Bud,
get you
the
there.
lime, the Bud Light limes. Get me the Bud Light lime. All right, clear the stage. Clear the stage. You got something to say? You want to weigh in? Have a seat. What do you think so far?
No.
You're getting me a beer, and then you can say something. Let your friend have a turn, okay? You're not gonna steal the whole show, okay?
We're not gonna stay here the whole show.
Do you have an opinion so far?
Where's your phone?
Do you think it's cool or stupid? Okay. Oh, thank you. Sarah Joe, everybody. Okay, you can't turn away. You're gonna sit here and watch the rest, right?
Yeah.
All right, go play with your friend. You have something to say? Okay.
I thought I did too, but I don't see
What? What is
I'm
your
not playing
opinion?
with stupid shit. I'm getting that stupid thing.
Samuel is speaking.
The parts of the accessory you should actually put in who's supposed to hold them in the pack.
Yep.
Because if they're separate and you only buy the accessories, that's why you should just put it all the action figures and all the accessories in one thing.
I get it, but that's not how it works. The accessories is to make you buy more things.
No, I'm with Samuel.
What's about
No. I love a good accessory pack. I'm sorry, I like it separate. I liked it because normally you would have the toy already and you get bored of the toy and then the accessory pack comes out.
But that Chewbacca had a removable arm that needed the accessory pack.
Wait,
But they're sold separately.
that's what I don't. Because
It's
that's
called
Samuel,
business. It's
Samuel,
called business.
welcome to our world.
if it's sold separately. Basically, they're
This is what we've dealt with our whole life.
Let the child talk.
because the thing is, every time, because basically, when it's sold separately, so I have something, let's say I got something, I had something that's sold separately, if you're actually if you only care about money, then you just make it so you have to buy the other thing.
That is really
Why doesn't the mask go on the face? Because if you look at the toy, the packaging, so basically the toy ruins the packaging, the packaging ruins the toy, because what it says isn't what's actually there. So the parts in half, the mask isn't halfway on, like it says, and then there's another thing, like how it looks, because on the
Welcome
package,
to my life.
the half of it is like what it's supposed to be.
You know why it's like that? Because it's an imaginary toy, it's not a real toy. It's just sort of suggesting that this could happen, but it doesn't actually do it. Because you know why? Because it's difficult to make. These are things that people are making by hand. These aren't real toy companies that are making stuff like that. It's hard to make stuff like that. The fact that you can even take that thing's arm off is a big technical achievement. So most of these toys are just fantasies that old men are indulging themselves on because they don't have the toys they really want.
But then why would you make it if you can't make it instead of
Because it's closer than not having it at all. It's like, if you can fill in the rest of it with your imagination.
I wanted to cry more on this episode than any other one before.
Why? Anyway, we'll talk about this more. We gotta review another toy. Okay? We can fixate on this forever, but let's not, alright? Alright.
necesito traductor.
Sí, claro que sí, brother.
All right.
Also from Argentina, from Legion Toys.
Hey, what's
Yeah.
up? Hola. What's your name?
Dante.
Dante. I love you.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we got?
Mi último juguete,
So this is his latest toy.
Eris.
Juguete.
Juguete, toy.
Toy.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, I know.
So Eris.
¿Cómo?
Original, la idea, el concepto, la figura,
Tenía ganas de armar una serie
una serie.
con el mismo pack,
Ujú.
pero cambiando el boceto y que se llama de Sabotiers.
Big bow ahead. It's beautiful as a piece, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's about. I don't know what it's about, and it's not giving. The back is blank. Like, who is this character? Like, why? What's up?
Él quiere como la historia, ¿sí?
Ah, tiene
Tell him
razón.
it looks
Sí,
great.
Sí, le encanta como
Sí,
se
sí,
mira,
pero-
todo.
en eso tiene razón. Es como que hay una parte que está en blanco
Sí.
y que no tuve tiempo de elaborarla.
So yeah, so basically he had the idea for he wanted to create the figure, but he hasn't elaborated yet on the story.
I
So
see.
it's a figure, it's a character without a story
So
just
why
yet.
should the viewer care?
So en ese caso, ¿por qué le importa por qué debería de importarle a la gente si no tiene una historia? Es lo que
What
está
I can
preguntando.
say is that this was our Decon exclusive, and the people who bought it strictly on the aesthetic.
Yeah, the aesthetics is great.
And so that's kind of like what I kind of described as like the spectrum of, there's some guys who are making very literal interpretations of figures that don't exist. On one side, and then the stuff that DKE usually sells is kind of in the middle, that's right for a convention crowd, that usually has some pop culture reference. And then all the way to the other side of the people who are creating stuff in their own universe,
Right.
creating their own story.
And I'm a fan of that. I just feel like sometimes if that's what the type of toy you're making is, and you're just like making up a universe, and it's not necessarily dependent on calling on a reference that somebody's looking at it, then you should do a little extra to like tell me more about the world.
So,
or the
this
piece
thing,
itself.
básicamente lo que
It's beautiful, but I want to know. I don't know who the character is. I want to know more. I just want to know more. I want to see the story.
Básicamente
It's
está
art.
The back is blank. It's an
Right.
opportunity to put more info
But
there.
if all art has that info,
No, but this isn't art. These are fucking action figures. When I buy a G.I. Joe, there's a card on the back that tells me all the
But
details.
that's G.I. Joe.
This is G.I. Joe.
No, it's not
This is
G.I.
Star Wars. This is G.I. Joe. This is Micronauts.
This is entirely
toy.
creation.
No, but it's in the form
Es un nuevo
of
juguete.
It's a
Ya
new
tendrá
toy.
su historia, Cyclops. Ten paciencia.
Let me
It's
see.
a new
Coming
toy
as a
and
white
the story's
background.
coming. It's
I'm just
developing.
saying, it's
Look
fun.
at the
it's,
back. It's all there. Just
Listen,
fill it
I
in.
like it. It's intriguing. It looks
This
good.
is
I'm just saying.
art.
I don't get.
Art
No,
is
it's
based
not
on the
art. It's
aesthetic.
also toys.
Fine,
It's
but
also
if
toys.
everything has to be explained in your book. It's just going to make a very boring.
It's like watching the film Seven.
I completely disagree.
I was wondering what was the
Básicamente estaba
story.
como
Oh,
diciendo
see?
que al final-
And did you get an answer?
El chico patea para tu lado.
Samuel, sit.
Translate.
He's right. He's right. The kids know. Bueno,
He agrees.
All right,
thank you.
Jeremiah. All right, also from Argentina.
Cosmo Toy. Cosmo Toy. Thank you. With the corduroy,
Yes.
in addition to.
Corduroy toys.
I remember wearing corduroy in like elementary school. Yeah, like hand-me-down corduroy.
He say,
I got like
say
8
fuck. I think there's some American thing with the American
Can I see the toy?
picture.
In a second.
Okay, cool. Interesting looking figure. It looks like a real toy.
Blank
Looks like a real
back.
toy.
I said the back's blank.
Yeah, I know. I was getting to that.
Thank you.
Now you're gonna say the same thing again.
Thank you.
You already
I mean, I
said
think
it.
this is already another example of like toy from a guy's universe, right?
Yes.
I don't recognize any of the toys, the parts that you bootlegged.
Yeah, but in the front you have a lot of things to guess what are you looking at. Maybe you can invite, you can make your own story about that. It's a glam figure and he's fit and he's like
Let me see.
radiation guy. I don't
Sure,
know.
I wasn't asking you to justify it. I'm just making an observation.
Yeah,
You know, that it's like, as far as a bootleg toy goes, I don't recognize what you're sampling. Is it a sculpt?
Yes,
Sculpt from
it's
scratch?
from pieces. It's like 3 different toys, and I use it. Yes, I'm modeling some parts.
It's very nice.
Thank you. Well, the fact I don't recognize any parts is an accomplishment. I think.
Why? Because you know all the parts.
Did you?
No, but do you recognize any parts?
No, I was remarking on that fact.
So I think it's an accomplishment
What 3
in that
toys
respect.
did you?
We're all
So
saying
it's
the
just
same thing.
some future mutant, like,
Yeah, but
radiation character.
it's not a
What's
bootleg.
the
Yeah, I
price?
know, but but this is a character. He have a lot of stuff from the 80s, that kind of pop culture. Nostalgic driven. Yes, it's a wasteland. It's Mad Max. It's a lot of
I
stuff
like that. I like
together.
that die cut card. That's cool.
He made this
How much is
fantastic
it?
art.
You
It's
have
great.
to give him a figure. You
Samuel has a question.
How much is it?
$1,000.
No, for real, like, how much is it?
You want it?
How much is it?
I feel like I want to know a little bit more, and I want to know a little bit more about you
Okay.
from your toy.
I'm going to make another one with We with can a comic exchange book. telephone
Yeah,
numbers.
comic on the back.
Show me who you
Yeah.
are.
Comic book.
I want to
Yes.
see what you feel
Thank you.
inside.
Thank you.
You have craft.
I'm going to come back with a
More cool
with a
toy.
corduroy full of comics. Yes.
It doesn't have to be a comic per se.
Yeah.
Because the toy doesn't need like a comic somewhere else. It just needs to imply a comic.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it's a good review.
Yeah. Give us some story. Give us something
Let's
more,
go.
even if it's fake.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mr. Costanza. Here we go.
How you doing? Who are you?
Costanza? My name's Greg.
What's the name of your toy company?
Costanza.
Mo Costanza?
Mug.
Mug?
Costanza.
Mug Costanza. Oh, it says on the back.
That's right.
And this is the Mark Hamill figure. At first observation, it appears to be a yak face on a vintage Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight body, including the lightsaber, and a really tight handmade cloth goods cape on a Camel cigarettes package with Jabba's palace imposed in the background. Oh, here's, and then it's a gag on the famous movie actor Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, and this is Mark Hamill.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you that in selling this toy, I never had an experience where people, like, they look at it and they don't know what they're
What is
looking at.
this
And they're like, what is this?
lightsaber?
And then I just tell them, read it. And they go, Mark Hamill. And then they're like,
This is all hand cast,
Yes, sir.
and it's articulated.
Fully
How
articulated.
did you do that? It's like
I
a body
pulled
cast.
apart an original and.
I mean, this is funny because it's like the craft is exceptional. You know,
Where's
everything
the
looks great, but
cigarette
it's so much
pack?
effort for a fucking moronic joke. It's like you put so much work into like a
Where's
dumb
the
gag, like a
It is a dumb. It is a dumb
it's like
gag.
some wordplay.
But I got a lot of laughs. If laughs were dollars,
Are you
if you
some
could laugh
kind of
into
clown
my,
out here trying to?
if you could
make
laugh into
people
my
laugh?
wallet, I would appreciate it.
It's fun. Okay, that's cool. It's funny. It's funny. I mean, it's a
No, I'm
wonderful thing.
really-
There's no room for
honestly-
interpretation.
There's no room for interpretation, and it's craft is part of it.
Yeah.
And
Can you
someone-
open up the package and take the figure out?
You could, but you
No, but you have to. So like,
yeah.
but most people who buy the shit aren't gonna open it,
But
and they're not gonna know that you put all the effort into make it
but I
articulated.
think there's intrinsic value in that.
Even if nobody knows.
And that I mean, if they don't
That sound-
know,
Really?
I think
It's
I think
masochistic.
so. I think maybe
You're,
you're right.
you're a masochist.
I think
How
think
many
you're
of
right,
these
but-
did you make?
well, these I made 20 of, but I will tell you, I've also learned to appreciate the efforts of our friend, the Gertrude Stein of
Yes,
bootleg
that's
world,
well
because
said.
because he can, move these faster. I made the original Farm Boy version, which our friend was able to sell
It's in
almost
the
immediately.
vintage loop
And
product.
me alone in my boot.
Oh, this
and
is
my-
the sequel.
This is the sequel, and I also
So you already sold out the other one.
yeah, and then I also made a Empire Strikes Yak.
Is this a yak face thing?
No, it's really a play on the name. Also, super fan of Mark Hamill and his political efforts these days.
Okay, I appreciate that also.
But also, like I
It's a
said,
Mark Hamill tribute.
it's a Mark Hamill tribute piece. I mean, this is 2019, the last of the Skywalker series, the last of the original trilogy, the last of it all is happening. So it's like it's a benchmark.
It's a Herculean effort.
I appreciate you.
And
And also,
I still think it's fucking stupid. But
thank you. No, but also the Herculean effort of finding craft velour, which is what this fabric is called, which I did not know, and I searched and found the particular fabric.
This kind of breaks my heart.
But I want to talk about the back, because we've been talking about the back.
It doesn't need a back.
Fine, but what's on the back is like this museum card.
That I appreciate.
And it's like all blank except for it says Monk Costanza, Mark Hamill, Jedi Knight 2019, hand cast resin, lacquer paper, and cardstock. So it's kind of like this museum card.
Yeah, that's a back. That's not a blank back.
Right, but
That's the use of the back. You know, it's like, yeah, no, I think it works because it's not a story piece. It's kind of a punny, jokey piece.
But
it only needs the front to convey what it's trying to say, and then by like putting an art context in the back, kind of.
And I saw that firsthand when people picked it up. They laughed. They turned it over. They got a second laugh because it was treated like this fine piece of.
Yeah, that's
good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, I would be.
There's also a blue lightsaber in his home.
I
Because
mean,
he came with it.
I think you've got a lot of technical skill. I would hate to see if the entirety of your career was just word
I have a
gags.
lot more ideas.
Yeah, I'd like to
No,
see.
you check me out, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but
well,
I mean, incidentally, I will.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go seeking it out, but I'll probably see it. Yeah, but I won't. But I'll absorb it. I'll absorb it on the side, and it's like, I mean, I appreciate this more now than when I first saw it, just because I'm always like, if it's like a head slapper, I'm like, I hate it. You know?
It's a bit of a larf. I get that, but like again, I think that the articulation and that
no one will know.
But that's fine. I think that like maybe we can absorb that. I can sleep at night, and I think if you had an AFA graded Darth Vader, and you for some reason opened it up and found it was a slug of plastic that didn't move, you'd be pissed off.
Yeah, but the reality is the likelihood of somebody opening up one of these type of figures is a lot smaller. And if some intrepid individual hasn't watched this masterpiece of media, discovers that, oh wow, this dumb gag that I bought at DesignerCon 20 years ago actually moves, lucky me. Let me call the guy that made it and tell him how great that was.
Maybe I'll get that
and
phone
send
call.
him another $20.
Phone call.
I think Yak Face is the hardest character to riff on.
I also
Yak
recently
Face.
did a Camel cigarette joke and I used the Yak Face figure. I didn't
You
go,
already did it?
I mean, no, I just took a Yak Face and put it on a Camel
I'm just
background.
saying.
But I'm just saying, like, that's the only
The
thing
guy
you
who
can
played
do with
Yak
Yak
Face
Face is to make it
wanted-
into a
wanted
joke kind of
to
thing.
say.
What?
The guy who played Yak Face wanted. to
I like.
See, it's opening doors for you already.
That's great.
Next stop.
I think if you can revitalise and remix Yak Face,
I also had to shrink the head, by the way.
With Hydroshot?
With whatever their
did it?
Smooth-On's product.
I just appreciate the reuse of the Yak Face. I think.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But there's only so much to be said about Yak Face.
Oh my god.
How many more pieces are there? Okay, great.
All right.
So
So a little
hey,
sloppy
what's
cop.
up? Good to see you.
Introduce yourselves.
And these are the defenders of injustice.
Let me see that.
Dude, you're supposed to be sitting there. Why are you off to the side? I thought you were participating. Pull the chair up, and if you want to talk about the toys, then you gotta stay in, okay? Bring the chair up first. You guys get a chance to look at this?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, and there's shit on the back. There's a whole coloring book on the back.
Wait.
It's giving, okay, now you can take it. That's the timer, right?
Yes.
Time for timer.
Don't knock it till you try it.
A wagon wheel. He put the salami with the cheese.
Yeah.
I loved all that shit. And there was a cartoon where they like traveled in somebody's digestive system.
Yes.
That's cool.
The most frustrating thing was as a kid when they had the ice cube tray, you put the saran wrap on, you put the toothpicks
Yeah,
in,
and
it never worked.
I had that to work. I had a better freezer than you. That's a
Yeah, we just
flipping on the timer is a deep cut and a risky move.
I know. I mean, that's like.
Why did you pick the timer?
Because I mean, it was one of those things where I grew up with.
Yeah.
And like, I just like it like popped in my head. But I thought it'd be hilarious to make them evil.
What's the body made
Let's
out
talk
of? The
about
fucking resin looks tight.
Let's
as
talk
fuck.
about the series because the
Oh.
previous one that he had at New York Comic Con was called Officer Largerburger.
Which was the Big Mac cop,
The
right?
Big Mac cop. And then in the
And
back
he's a fascist,
it
right?
said child detention officer, and there's all these kids in prison in the background. So brutal. Like, and so
Why? Why is
So whenever
Sam, I gotta take a piss. You sit there and handle this.
So I'll tell you why. Because whenever you used to buy toys when I was younger, the toy never looked like the figure or the artwork. So I always
doesn't.
Yeah, it still doesn't. So he never really looks like he's supposed to look on the artwork.
well, when you open a brand new toy, does it look like what's on the packaging?
Many, well, it wants you to put it in a particular exact way so it looks like something. So, and the exact way,
Quote that on one of my card backs.
maybe one thing is 1 inch too far back. So then it's all messed up.
I think it's 2 hours past your bedtime. So tell them about the figure you just released for Decon.
So what I did for Decon was it was a spoof on Mr. Softy, which was like, I don't know if they have him in this area, but in like the Northeast, it's like an ice cream truck. And it's like this happy, he's like an ice cream cone and he has an ice cream cone head. And I made him the sugar industry lobbyist. So he's like an evil lobbyist for the sugar industry. Like, so.
What's this supposed to be?
So when we were kids, in between the commercials on Saturday morning, and Saturday morning cartoons don't exist anymore. But before there was Netflix and all this stuff, we'd wake up on Saturday morning and there would just be cartoons. Three of the networks all just played cartoons. And a lot of the parent organizations lobbied the network saying that they had to do something educational, that a bunch of these cartoons with people bashing each other's heads in was not good enough. And so they created these things called PSAs, or public service announcements. And then this guy in particular would talk about nutrition and eating healthy and, you know,
But then
trying new foods.
why does he look like, you know, like,
Why does he look like shit?
We always wondered the same thing.
Because
We always wondered.
Because what he's done is he's taken this good character and he's made the evil version of him. So, because what it says is it's a factory farm salesman.
wait,
That's before we were woke.
Yeah.
This is, for me, like what Cy Snootles would date.
I thought the same thing.
All right, Samuel.
Is that the size Noodle's body?
It is.
Oh, it is?
See, of course.
So this is the thing that's giving
That's
Cy
what makes it
Snootles-
even better.
Yeah. Well, there
Okay,
you
so
go.
let me sit down. You did great.
Well, what I'll tell you about this line of figures, more so than any other line of figures that we carry, is the people who are buying this figure are all the other people on the resin scene. And that's how I know that it's like,
that means it's an achievement.
yeah. It's like, Seth here is like the toy maker's toy maker.
Good for you, man. How does it feel to hear that?
That feels good.
Great.
I mean, I spent a lot of
I
time.
didn't buy one.
Yeah, well.
I don't buy anything.
I have terrible taste.
Well, I think
What do you think is better, the toy or the drawing?
The toy.
I don't know, I did both of them.
The toy's
better. Yeah.
Wow. Ask Kim to like brief himself now.
he gets a double massage.
Casey,
Yeah, I like doing them both.
well, which one do you prefer? Because I prefer the one that's actually printed because it looks more realistic.
It's more evil.
And that's what adds the value for you?
Yeah, because if the toy looks exactly like that, then the toy.
You realize you're standing in front of the camera again.
This kid's
He's a child!
Wow.
I have higher expectations. Anyway, Seth, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Seth. How many are left?
Last one.
Is it Rikers?
Oh.
So I think.
Oh,
what's
okay.
Do I need to move?
What's
Get up here, bitch. You made a figure too when you didn't print.
He has all of them, dude.
Do you have the Sucklord that you made?
You want to take my place?
We're gonna talk about it.
So I think what's interesting about both of these gentlemen is they both
You can
make
sit back.
tribute figures of our esteemed host here.
Esteemed. This is the Suck Trooper Sucklord.
So this is a series that he started a few years ago.
Why the fuck would you make something like that?
Because you're an arsehole for making this thing.
But the thing is, let's. I'm
Can
gonna.
I just give some context for the
Okay, sure.
Okay, so
I'm almost ready to loosen my ass, but okay.
that's fine. So he started
I want
a
a pipe of smoke going up there.
He started this series of art troopers, and the first one was Andy Warhol, and it was Andy Warhol in a stormtrooper outfit, and then it was Basquiat, and then it was Keith Haring, and then
Pablo
Picasso,
Picasso.
and then it was the Sucklord.
Yeah, why? Why would you put the Sucklord amongst that crowd?
Because.
Wait, wow, you made that? How did you make that?
Why would I do something like that?
Give me some skin.
Okay, now tell me why must you?
I think all the
My favorite part.
all of the predecessors in the series started fires or genres or movements.
Go on.
So
Give me some detail here.
Yeah, this is funny.
So-
I was asked this in an interview. I want
so
like Picasso, and my response was that Picasso had someone else who helped him with Cubism, and that you pretty much single-handedly created this genre.
I'm sorry.
It's all your fault,
Thanks, man. Well, thanks for confirming that.
as far as I can tell.
I'm talking to the artist.
well, it's the whole series is paying homage.
Who's next? Is there someone
Uh,
after that?
yeah.
Because you kind of hit a dead end here.
No, there's like Salvador Dali.
Okay, but I'm just also saying that chronologically speaking, like
Chron-
that's the only contemporary
You're
living person that you made in the
Yeah,
series.
you're an abnormally.
Yeah.
In the,
So
in
now
the
you're gonna
series.
go backwards and do Dali.
I'm no, I'm gonna carry
How
on.
about some
You're-
women artists? How about some artists of color? Why don't you do that?
I have already Basquiat.
Oh, right, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
And I've not touched on any British artists also, which there's, I mean, I could do 10 years worth of British artists, but I'm just going with what inspired me from an artist.
Well, the execution is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's chromed. It's a resin piece. You
This
cast
is
the
actually
resin.
this is actually the second version. The first version was pink.
What's the board made out of?
This is,
How do you make the boards?
I laser cut boards, I silk screen.
That's a silk screen?
All of it's silk screens.
Do you have one screen? How many cards do you make in a single screen? One?
No.
Like there's like a 4-up or whatever?
I use a big silk screen. I can get multiple small color layers on one screen.
You're the most factory motherfucker in all of this, I think. Sorry, Sam.
How
I
much?
said a bad word. Did you hear it?
Yeah, of course
Don't
I
repeat it. Okay.
Factory.
Factory. Yeah, you've got like all kinds of machines.
How
There's
much
a
is
quasi-industrial aspect to this.
Yeah.
Of all the people we sell toys for, he's the one who really makes his own blisters, his laser
How much
cutting,
is
his
That sounds
casting,
pretty efficient
painting.
Never
and
knew
self-sufficient.
I think your daddy already has that.
How
But
much
I think they were $55.
um, yeah, I make toys for the love.
This should be 100.
You don't do it for the money?
No,
Plus the
I'm doing,
Why do you love it then? What do you mean the love? What do you love so much?
I'm a toy collector, and I've got what I need from Star Wars.
What do you mean? You're satisfied with Star Wars?
Yeah.
You don't need any more?
No, I'm army building a man, and
Rad.
It doesn't sound like you're anywhere close to getting what you need.
no, I am. I don't want all the vintage card toys.
No, but the thing is, you still want something from Star Wars in the abstract. I mean, if you're building a man army,
Yeah.
you're pretty deep into this.
You're safe.
And it's not going to end anytime soon.
Well, that's all good.
I know. Why? It shouldn't end.
But the satisfaction comes from the canon and the lore and the after effects of Star Wars, and that's why, you know, topically, The Mandalorian right now is ticking a lot of our boxes because we're seeing stuff that we reenacted as children in beautiful high definition.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, are you still acting out stuff that you began when you were a child?
I wouldn't do it in front of you with this toy.
What do you mean? You wouldn't play Star Wars with me?
I guess, but
Like if there was a box and of Star Wars figures and some play sets,
That's
and
the whole
some shit,
point.
would you do stuff with me? With it?
I don't know if you could fly a starship though.
I would do
I
it.
can shoot a blaster and use a lightsaber.
You're hired.
Okay, great. Let's ride. Is that it?
That's it.
Wait, is the shoot over?
Let's ride. Clap, everybody.
Woo!